Please, we have lots to talk about. So the real test is if you do that when I'm finished. So, Mr. Speaker, Mr. President, members of the House and Senate, distinguished elected officials, honored guests, and fellow citizens. About 750 days ago, Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito and I stood right here, and we pledged to work with you and others to move this Commonwealth forward, and we have done just that. We built a bipartisan team, worked in partnership with the legislature, and looked for common ground. We worked to fix state government, passed groundbreaking legislation, and focused on growing our economy, and it's working. Our economy is among the strongest in the nation. Over the past 2 years, we've added 120,000 jobs. Today, more people are working than at any time in the past 20 years, and our welfare caseload has dropped by 25%. The companies of the future are moving to Massachusetts, bringing millions in private investment, while new companies are born here every day. In fact, for the second year in a row, Bloomberg named Massachusetts the #1 state for innovation in the whole country. GE's decision to locate its world headquarters in Boston and its North American Life Sciences headquarters in Marlborough was based on its belief in the talent and the vision of our people. And believe me, any discussion about GE's relocation would not be complete without noting the extraordinary work and collaboration of Boston Mayor Marty Walsh and his team. Thank you. Mr. Mayor, I look forward to working with you on the next Patriots Super Bowl victory party. The job gains have benefited every corner of our state. For example, New Bedford had the steepest unemployment decline in the entire country, with an unemployment rate, there you go, Mr. Mayor, with an unemployment rate that's fallen from 6.5% to just 3.7% in the past year. And it's not an accident that Massachusetts is such an attractive place to do business. It's a reflection of the quality of our people and the climate we've created here. The progress we've made on energy is a perfect example. Together, we passed landmark legislation that will reduce our carbon footprint while maintaining a competitively priced and reliable supply of energy. And we've built on those efforts by issuing an executive order on climate change that directs state government to work with local governments, business, and nonprofits to further develop and protect our environment and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. And thanks to the hard work of state and local officials, teachers, and parents, our students are #1 in the nation in both math and reading for the 6th straight year. Now, our shared commitment to funding local schools has led to an all-time high in Chapter 70 education funding, representing an increase of $227 million over the past 2 years. And we've also made attending a public college more affordable. Through the Commonwealth commitment, we've created a pathway for students to secure a bachelor's degree from UMass or one of our state universities for half the price. Brockton's own Jacqueline Bell is here tonight, and she's a great example of who this program is helping. Jacqueline is 26 years old. She has a 2-year-old daughter, and she's currently a straight-A student at Massasoit Community College. And she said the Commonwealth commitment changed her family's life. Look at you. And Jacqueline, we all look forward to watching you build on your success. We've also reviewed and updated and eliminated thousands of pages of outdated and obsolete state regulations, which has reduced red tape and made it easier for employers, nonprofits, and cities and towns to do their jobs. And we all know that high-speed internet has become central to the way we communicate, learn, and do business. But in too many communities in Western Mass, they still don't have access to this essential service. That's why this past May, we completely overhauled the Last Mile program for our rural communities. We started with 53 towns lacking high-speed internet access. And while we still have a lot more work to do, in just 6 months, we've moved a dozen towns forward. And that's more progress on local broadband than we've made in the last 5 years, with lots more to get done in the near future. And we've done all of that and more while closing a $1 billion state budget gap without raising taxes. Fiscal responsibility is challenging work, and it's not the stuff that wins popularity contests. But by working together, we've controlled the runaway growth in spending and nearly eliminated the structural deficit in just 2 years. We've reduced the state's bureaucracy, saving hundreds of millions of dollars, and we're working smarter and making state government more accountable to the people who pay the bills. We also ended the previous practice of using rainy day funds to bail out the state budget. Instead, we've invested in this fund despite lower revenue growth and have set the Commonwealth on solid financial footing going forward. We propose closing the tax loophole on Airbnb, but we will oppose any effort to pass a broad-based tax increase on the hard-working people of the Commonwealth. We've also made real progress in supporting those who need our help. Helping families fighting homelessness and ending the practice of putting homeless families into hotels and motels has been a priority for us. To get there, we've taken a different approach. We've been working with housing authorities and other housing providers to help families avoid homelessness in the first place and relying on more permanent solutions. And in 2 years, the population of homeless families in hotels and motels has been reduced from 1,500 to fewer than 100 families today. 2 years ago, the Department of Children and Families, which serves more than 50,000 at-risk kids, was in crisis. It's a very different place today. There are 270 more social workers on the job than there were just over a year ago, and 95% are licensed, which is up from 50% when we took office. Caseloads, thank you. Caseloads are as low as they've been in decades, and long-promised clinical and administrative supports are now in place. New policies concerning investigations, home-based services, supervisory practices, and missing children have been collaboratively implemented with the full support of DCF's union workforce. But when it comes to at-risk kids, we can never rest easy. DCF still needs to recruit more foster homes and do a better job working with foster families. And DCF will continue to work with the courts and the legal community to reduce uncertainty for kids by shortening the time they have to wait for a permanent and loving home. Now, DCF Commissioner Linda Spears is with us tonight. Linda, you and your team are doing a great job. And on behalf of the families and children you serve, thank you. As in other states, we continue to deal with the heinous crime of human trafficking. And through compassion for young boys and girls, my wife Lauren championed bringing back the State Police Anti-Human Trafficking Unit. Now for that and so many other things she does every day, I say thanks. We worked with all of you to craft legislation for Uber, Lyft, and other transportation networking companies. This legislation respects the important role of the sharing economy while benefiting hundreds of thousands of passengers as well as drivers here in the Commonwealth. For example, people with disabilities often have trouble finding reliable transportation, especially for unexpected trips, making it difficult to complete their education or work full-time. It's a huge problem. The Tease Ride took advantage of our new law to set up a pilot with Uber and Lyft to serve about 400 people with disabilities. And so far, that pilot has delivered more than 7,000 rides. Manish Agarwal is blind and uses the ride. He's here with us tonight. He and his wife live in Arlington with their young daughter. Now recently, Manish had to take his daughter to the doctor unexpectedly. He used the pilot program and called Uber instead of waiting for the ride. It was easy, prompt, and it cut his travel time in half. Thanks to the pilot program, he was able to focus on the needs of his daughter instead of worrying about transportation. Manish, I want to thank you for being here with us tonight and for sharing your story. His story, by the way, echoes those we've heard from many others who've used this pilot. The overwhelming message from participants could not be more clear. This program has changed my life. We hear it over and over again. Now, we all know, especially here in this room, the opioid epidemic is ravaging individuals and families across this country. And while this is going to be a prolonged battle, our efforts are making a difference. We know that 4 out of 5 heroin users first become addicted through prescription drugs. And we're seeing results from our efforts to close this front door to addiction. For For the first time, medical, dental, and nursing schools are requiring students to master opioid therapy and pain management. And continuing education on these issues is now part of our state licensing programs. And after years and years of increases, the number of opioids prescribed in Massachusetts is now down by 15%. Prescribers have made more than 2 million searches of the new prescription monitoring program, and this makes it harder for people to doctor shop for pain pills or for pill mills to operate here in Massachusetts. Spending on addiction services has been increased by 50%. Hundreds of additional treatment beds and voluntary programs have come online. Family and peer support groups have doubled and been funded across the Commonwealth, and thousands of Narcan kits have been distributed to first responders and family members. And our work on this has not gone unnoticed. An unprecedented 46 governors have signed on to a compact to fight opioid addiction that's based on our efforts here in the Commonwealth. And make no mistake, drug traffickers are part of the opioid epidemic. They prey on vulnerable people, selling them more and more deadly and addictive substances. We'll also propose $2 million in our budget to expand law enforcement's effort to arrest and convict drug traffickers. And with your help, we also ended the decades-old practice of sending women who were civilly committed due to an addiction to Framingham State Prison. Thank you. Instead, they now enter a treatment program, including the new one at Taunton State Hospital. And these programs have been a game changer for many of the women they serve. And based on this success, we'll request an increase in state funding to support treatment for men who are committed due to an addiction as well.